is Tuesday, November 17. Welcome to CGN News. Reports out of St. John's, Antigua are that a 35-year-old man remains under police guard in hospital as a probe continues into the murder of a 45-year-old Jamaican hairdresser. Police say the man is the main suspect in the death of Simone White, whose throat was slashed on Saturday in the heart of the capital. White was pronounced dead at the scene. She is the 9th person murdered in Antigua this year. The suspect is reported to have fled the scene, but his attorney, Wendell Robinson, told state media ABS TV that his client sought treatment at hospital after the altercation with White. She reportedly relocated to Antigua just over 3 years ago. Barbados' Minister of Education, Cynthia Bradshaw, says there will be appropriate intervention following a now viral video of an explosive exchange between a teacher and a student. Bradshaw expressed outrage at the video circulating on social media. In the video, the student is heard threatening the teacher and promising to, quote, swell up those eyes for you, end quote. Others are heard giggling even as the teacher talks down to the student. Bradshaw chastised the student's behavior and added that threats against teachers will not be tolerated. The Ministry of Education will be addressing the incident. Prime Minister of Barbados, Mottley, has joined the call for debt relief to be extended beyond the poorest countries to middle-income countries. Mottley pointed out middle-income countries were making sacrifices in choosing sustainability over the cheap and easy and suggested that global support and cooperation were needed. She said some of these same countries were blacklisted for not conforming to rules which were invented with, quote, dubious criteria and which some rich countries did not necessarily apply to themselves. Mottley was addressing the virtual launch of the Debt Relief for Green Recovery report. All Jamaicans are now required to undergo a COVID-19 test in order to check into the Hedo II hotel in Negril. Tourists originating in 4 U.S. states, Arizona, Texas, Florida, New York, are expected to present a COVID-19 test result on arrival in Jamaica. The Gleaner reports that on Sunday night they tried to book a room in the hotel but was informed by a receptionist that all local residents must test negative on arrival. The testing requirement was implemented last Thursday. The Gleaner confirmed that a group of 9 locals who vacationed at the hotel 2 weeks ago went back to Kingston and days later said that they had tested positive for coronavirus. It was big news in the Dominican Republic when a brand new resort opened its doors in Punta Cana. The 164-suite Radisson Blu Resort and Residence, the only Radisson Blu in the Caribbean, officially launched operations on Sunday. It's one of a handful of new resorts that have opened since the beginning of the pandemic and the first in the Dominican Republic. The country has been open for tourism since this summer and has a relatively light COVID-19 testing regime. Tourism officials recently revealed that in the third quarter of 2020, the Dominican Republic welcomed more than 100,000 air passengers. Hurricane Iota is spreading a dangerous threat of flooding rainfall and damaging winds into Central America after making landfall in Nicaragua as a Category 4 late Monday night. Iota made landfall with maximum sustained winds of 155 miles per hour, just 15 miles south of where Hurricane Eta made landfall as a Category 4 2 weeks ago. This is the first time on record 2 major hurricanes have made landfall in Nicaragua in the same hurricane season. Early Monday, Iota became the second Category 5 hurricane on record in November and the record latest in-season hurricane ever to reach that intensity in the Atlantic Basin. Peru's political crisis was on the verge of resolution Monday as Congress cleared the way for a new candidate to become the country's 3rd president in a week. People waved the nation's flag and blared horns as Francisco Sagasti of the centrist Purple Party was selected as the new president of Congress. The 76-year-old engineer becomes the nation's chief of state by default. Peru currently had no president or vice president, making him next in line. It will now fall on Sagasti to heal a nation bruised by a week of upheaval. The Wisconsin Elections Commission said on Monday that a statewide vote recount would cost an estimated $7.9 million, and President Donald Trump's campaign would have to pay in advance should it request one. The bill is more than the $2 million former Green Party presidential candidate Jill Stein paid for a recount. President-elect Joe Biden won the crucial battleground state in the November 3 election by a margin of 0.07 percentage point, or about 20,000 votes. Trump has yet to concede in the race and is filing legal challenges to the outcome. Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador said Monday he faced a tough decision whether to allow a big city to be flooded or direct excess water to poorer, sparsely populated areas. The president, whose slogan has always been "the poor comes first," chose the latter. López Obrador defended his decision to open floodgates, saying it avoided a major flood in Villahermosa, the capital of Tabasco and home to over 350,000 people. Heavy rains in Tabasco, the president's home state, recently affected about 161,000 persons. A dam there reached capacity Sunday, and when water had to be released, the president chose the largely rural township of Nacajuca, which has about 83,000 inhabitants. U.S. State Secretary Mike Pompeo met Tuesday with the Istanbul-based spiritual leader of the world's Orthodox Christians during a short trip to Turkey. The visit has raised the ire of Turkish officials and includes no meetings with any of them. Pompeo, now on tour of Europe and the Middle East, tweeted pictures with the ecumenical patriarch Bartholomew I, the leader of some 300 million Orthodox Christians. The talks were to center on religious freedoms in Turkey. This has prompted Turkish officials to call on Washington to focus on human rights violations in the United States. Last week, Turkey issued a sharply worded statement criticizing Pompeo's plans and said Washington should, quote, look at the mirror and deal with issues such as racism, Islamophobia, and hate crimes. That's it for CGN News. I'm Scott Wilson. Thanks for watching.